Greetings to all of you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is LightWorker. I do psychic tarot readings right here on this channel on YouTube. I am also an advanced Akashic Records practitioner. I have a bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics from Westchester University of Pennsylvania. So yes, I am also a nutritionist. I provide a variety of services, and for those of you who would like to know more about me and my services, please visit my website www.amalightworker.com, and if you'd like to book a service with me, please email me at amalightworker@gmail.com. I am also listing all of my contact information down here below in the show more description box. Thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'm here today to talk to you about what energy is, how you may be affected by energy, and maybe you don't even know it. If you do not understand how you feel the energy, how you personally are affected by the energy, how are you going to be able to understand the importance of clearing your energy? What is energy? Just from science, exactly like Einstein said, energy is nor created nor destroyed. It just gets transformed into another energy. Is the same principle that it applies to your feelings as well. Every feeling, if it's not properly addressed, it could transform into another feeling and another feeling. Every feeling has two extremes. Okay, the feeling of love, the extreme of that is hate. Love and hate are the same feeling. The purpose is to be at a state when you are balanced, because even an emotion that is good, too much of a good thing is not necessarily a good thing. The trick is to find that happy medium, okay? And for example, fear, it's a good feeling because it makes you look both ways when you are crossing the street. It is a healthy evaluation of risk. But if you take that fear to an extreme, it may affect your life because every feeling gets transformed into something else. Fear may be even transformed into a phobia, or the feeling of irritation. If you constantly over time, constantly you get irritated and you don't address that feeling, okay, that irritation may be transformed into frustration. Frustration, if it's not properly addressed and it keeps going for a long time, okay, it may be transformed into anger. And if you do not address anger properly, it may even be transformed into depression. So this is just to give you an idea, an example about what energy is and how everything gets transformed, even your own thinking, your own emotion. Okay, energy is not good or bad per se, but it simply needs to move. Okay, it simply needs to move. So I am about to present to you a questionnaire. Get ready to answer. Grab a pen and a paper, okay? We're going to go through the questionnaire so that you can determine for yourself what kind of an empath you are. Empath meaning how you sense your energy. How are you affected personally by the energy? A thought has energy. A space where you live has energy. Okay, a car that you drive has energy. The space where you work has energy. You have your own personal energy field, and every layer of your own personal energy field corresponds to a particular set of organs in your body. It corresponds to a particular set of feelings and a particular set of your thoughts. It is purely based on a science, on Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine, it is a science. It's based on the same principles as acupuncture. So get ready with a pen and a paper, and I am about to show you a questionnaire, and try to keep track of how many yes answers you have. So there are 3 different types of empaths. Empath meaning this is how you sense energy. And you could be a combination of type 1, type 2, and type 3. You can be even very highly scoring in type 1, very highly scoring in type 2, or even very highly scoring in type 3. During the questionnaire, you're going to keep score. Count how many yes answers you have. If you get yes for between 3 to 5 questions, you have some of that type. Okay, if you get yes between 5 to 10 answers, a big part of who you are is could be type 1, type 2, or type 3. And if you scored yes to more than 10 questions, you are most definitely that particular type, okay, type 1, type 2, or type 3. So allow me now to share my screen with you, and let's go over the questionnaire. Type 1 is also known as the emotional empath. You can be psychic, you could read minds, and sometimes to you it feels like even when you are at a huge distance, you can sense somebody's thoughts and feelings. The downside to it is that this can also mean that you can very easily soak in the thoughts and feelings of other people around you. And at its most basic level, if someone else in the room started crying, you couldn't help it. You are going to also start crying. Your emotions are closer to the surface than other people's, and they can be easily triggered if someone around you is emotional. So this is just to give you an idea what the first type is, the emotional empath. Now you have to keep track of how many yes answers you have. You had many experiences when you think of someone right before they call you, text you, email you, or contact you in any form. If someone in the room becomes emotional, you can't help it. Your feelings overflow too. You're interested in so many different things that it is impossible to just pick one thing. You use a lot of exclamation points when you email people, or when you text people, or even when you write. You've been told you are too emotional. You feel life is full of miracles, and you wonder how come other people are not able to see that, to understand that. You sometimes feel that you have trouble paying attention to one thing for a long time. At times you feel overwhelmed by your love for the world. You can multitask to the point that you get scattered, or to the point that you have trouble finishing a project. You often base a decision on a flash of inspiration rather than on logical analysis. You easily cry at movies, or you find yourself to easily cry at commercials. You can too often perceive something as a personal rejection, even though it's not intended to be a personal rejection, it's not. And even when later you realize that it wasn't a personal rejection, you still can't help it but still feel rejected or perceive it as a personal rejection. You're fascinated by the thought that we can actually be able to communicate with angels. You have a tendency to be nervous, or you even had an anxiety attack or a panic attack. If you are a parent, you get choked up or tear come to your eyes when you talk about your child. So again, this was type 1. If you scored between 3 to 5 yeses, you have very little type 1. If you scored yes between 5 to 10 questions, a big part of who you are is type 1, the emotional empath. And if you scored over 10 yeses, more than 10 yeses, a huge part of who you are most definitely type 1, the emotional empath. But you can also, so most people are definitely a combination of type 1, type 2, and type 3. So let's move on to the second type, the physical empath. And why is this called the physical empath? Because when you sense energy, it's actually affecting your physical body. Okay, your special kind of intuitive talent is that you are a sensor. You have this natural ability to read people's energy. You sense how they are feeling. They don't have to say anything to you. You just sense how they are feeling. And then automatically your energy adjusts to their energy to match their frequency. You make people feel very welcome. People feel very welcomed and very comfortable with you. But there's a downside to it as well. It also means that you can be physically affected by the invisible energy of people and places, like a shopping mall at Christmas. So that was just what it means, like a brief explanation of what the physical empath is. You crave alone time at the end of each day. You feel the fabrics on your skin and how they feel in your skin. It's very important to you, the feel of fabric in your skin. Or maybe you'll find yourself removing the tags when you purchase clothes. You notice details that most people completely miss. Crowded shopping malls or noisy parties can feel a little bit overwhelming for you. You can anticipate future problems better than most people, or you can plan things far in advance, or rehearse situations in your mind. You have some type of allergy, or you have food sensitivity, or maybe environmental sensitivities. You care a lot about the quality of your work to the point that very often you double check or you triple check your work for mistakes, or you end up working longer than most people because again, you care about the quality of your work. You don't really enjoy having to make small talk with people. You had the experience of entering in a room and just wanted to turn around and leave, and you just don't know why. You can't explain why. You felt criticized by others as being too sensitive, or for being too picky, or for being too particular. You tend to breathe too shallowly, so your breathing is too shallow. You sometimes notice that you are uncomfortable if somebody stands too close to you. You don't have a wide circle of friends, but the friends that you do have, those are truly authentic relationships. It can be physically painful for you to see or even hear about a person suffering or an animal suffering. You believe that you are far more self-critical or perfectionist than most people. So this was the type 2, the physical empath. Remember, 3 to 5 yeses, you have some type 2. 5 to 10 yeses, a big part of who you are is type 2. Over 10 yeses, definitely you are type 2. And allow me to remind you again that most people are a combination of type 1, type 2, or type 3, some sort of a combination between type 1, type 2, and 3. The third kind of empath, okay, is the inner empath. You have this special intuitive talent. It comes from your inner knowing, okay? You have a powerful inner knowing that if you just listen to it, will give you information and will guide you very well in life. You may often just have a feeling about something, but you are not able to explain why. And often that feeling turns out to be right. This is the inner empath. As an inner empath, you're not affected by the energy around you, like the type 1 and the type 2, but instead is the energy deep within you. Throughout each day, you pick up messages, and to you it feels like an inner voice is trying to speak to you. But there's a downside to it as well. It means that you may struggle to know what is your imagination or what is the true intuitive hit, because that inner voice constantly speaks to you. Okay? So remember to keep score of how many yes answers you get. You love to stay up at night, and you feel that when you stay up at night, this is the most creative time for you, or this is the most productive time for you, when you get a lot of stuff done. You have an interest in shamanism, in mediumship, or in magic. You feel things more deeply than other people, but you very rarely talk about your inner feelings. So most likely, people don't know how deep your feelings run, because you very rarely talk about your inner feelings and how deeply you are affected. You don't like brightly lit environments. You prefer mood lighting or candles in the dark. You sometimes feel alone in the world, or sometimes you feel that you are very different from the rest of the population. You are different than most people. You had an experience that seemed, to you it seemed like someone who died has visited you. You had lower back pain or achy joints, or you have injured a joint at some point of your life. You fear that if you fully opened to your psychic ability, you'd be overwhelmed to the point that you cannot turn it off. Tendency to look struck or tendency to be late. How many people do you know that always have a tendency to be late? It's an indication of type 3, inner empath. You believe your brain is just wired differently. It works differently than other people's, and sometimes you feel misunderstood as a result. You tend to base your decisions on an inner knowing that you just can't explain to other people. When you get lost, your first instinct would be to drive around a little bit, to get your bearings, rather than turn on the GPS or look at a map or ask for directions. You have seen or sensed ghosts or other beings. You had a prophetic dream, or you feel like you get messages in your dreams. Okay, so for those of you who are just logging in now, I'm going to go over the score with you. So if you get yes 3 to 5 questions, you have very little of that type. If you scored between 5 to 10 yeses, then a big part of who you are is that particular type. And if you scored yes to over 10 questions, you are most definitely that type. And again, you may be scoring very highly to all of these 3 types. So most people would be a combination of all of these 3 types. So give me one moment here. So that was just to give you an idea of what energy is and how you personally are affected by energy. Everything has energy, a thought, a feeling, a space where you work, a space where you live. So now that you know how you are personally affected by energy, just out of curiosity, let me know your score. If you are mostly type 1, type 2, or type 3, leave me a comment down here below or in the chats. I'm just curious to know. So now that you know how you are affected by energy, now you're going to understand how important it is to get your energy cleared on a regular basis. And you would benefit a great deal if you learn how to clear your own personal energy field. And if you are interested to learn how to clear your personal energy field, please email me at amalightworker@gmail.com or visit my website, www.amalightworker.com. I could be setting up a workshop one-to-one to teach you one-to-one basis, or I may be organizing another workshop to teach specifically how to clear your energy field. If you are interested in booking a session for energy clearing, again, email me at amalightworker@gmail.com or visit my website, www.amalightworker.com. So don't hesitate to email me with questions to ask about a theme, whether you like to be trained in one-to-one basis, or if you are interested in a course or a class about it, let me know so I can put you in the waiting list. Again, visit my website to find out more about me, my services, the fees. I do provide a variety of services, tarot psychic readings. I am an advanced Akashic Records practitioner. I am a nutritionist. I also do Reiki and energy healing, space energy clearing, because you can also clear the energy of a space. I also do personal energy clearings. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something here because I keep being trained in creating also new services. So do check out my website, www.amalightworker.com, for more information. Okay, email me to book a session. Thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. And if you are watching this video in November 2020, I am running a special. You buy a service and you get another one for 50% off. Of course, you pay for both of them, one full price and another one half off at the very beginning. And the second one that you are going to purchase at a discounted price, it can be for you or it could be for someone else. So buy one, get another half off. And for those of you who are interested to benefit from this discount, again, email me to book now, but the service must be rendered, paid for and rendered in November 2020. Thank you very much, and I will reconnect with you soon in the next video. Bye for now.